Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in again. As you can see, my bike is parked where it normally lives. I've taken a rest from the riding for a couple of days. Today it's going to get up to about 32 degrees, that's about 86, 87 Fahrenheit. But tomorrow is extreme in Adelaide. Expected 42, which is almost 108 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is not a day to go riding, it's not a day to go driving. Keep the aircon on, keep the blinds shut, and try and keep cool. The state's on high alert already. There's a total fire ban today and tomorrow obviously, and the trouble is tomorrow afternoon, in the peak of the heat, the winds are going to pick up quite dramatically, so the CFS in the Adelaide Hills is on high alert already. They definitely do not want anything like at the old Ash Wednesday that we had, or anything like the bushfires that are happening in New South Wales and Queensland at the moment. So that's why I've stopped my riding for a couple of days, because my next trip is going to be out to the hills and take some national parks. My fingers crossed is that they're still going to be there after that 42 degree day tomorrow. But I thought it would be good just to go through and explain to people how I put these little videos together, just in case somebody wonders. Nobody has asked, but I thought I'd just share what I do, in case you want to try and do something similar in future years, or just want to be able to do that as a matter of recording some of your riding and you're not sure how to go about it. Alright, so I haven't got great expensive equipment. I don't have the money to buy that, but it would be really, really good. But the things I have, you'll notice that on my videos I've got the bike touring along the street, and there's the little GoPro that I've got. I did splurge out thanks to the federal government giving a bit of a tax return this year. So the GoPro itself is there, and they say that you can flip these little feet out, connect that onto a handle or whatever, and record that way, because it is waterproof up to so very many meters. But I wanted it to be just that little bit more secure, so I figured instead of, if something happens, instead of that being damaged, I prefer to damage just a clear plastic case. And now that gets bolted onto the front of the bike, and touchscreen at the back, I can set that going without any worries. So I feel a little bit safer, and I'm quite happy to buy another plastic cover for the GoPro if something does happen to it, other than trying to send back this $600 GoPro to try and get fixed again. So that's for the travelling part. I did have a really cheap action camera that I spent about $99, $100 on, but it was sort of shaking all over. This is, as you've seen in my videos, super smooth. I'm so impressed with it. I haven't tried other good quality action cameras, so I can't give you a comparison, but all I know is of how well that one's going to be. So that's for the moving of it all. When I'm there, I take the photographs of me on the bike, and I'll grab my touring handbook. I didn't have one of those, so I emailed harley-davidson saying, can I get a copy of the touring cover? They sent me a document back. I printed it off and took it down to Officeworks and got it laminated. That way, if it does get wet or if it gets dirty, I can just give it a little wipe. But that's got to be in every photograph to be able to prove that I was taking that photograph in this particular year. To take the photographs, nothing special, just a small compact camera. It's just there. It's not the cheapest. This cost me almost $300 because it's going to do a few more things than just a cheap little camera will do, but anything will do. If for the photographs, I could even use my phone to take the photographs. But because I'm travelling alone doing all this, I don't have anybody to stand there with a camera and say, right, pose, ready to go, and press the button. So what I've had to do, that in my backpack, I did have to go get a, it's gone. Where is it? There it is. Thought I lost it. A small tripod. All tripods have that little screw thread on the top, and one common feature with all cameras, doesn't matter new, whether they're old, whether they're expensive, whether they're cheap, on the bottom of a camera is a small threaded hole, and it will fit that thread. Any brand will fit any brand. It's 2019, 21st century, but you've got a 19th century technology in that screw thread, because that is, if you want to show a bit of trivia to some of your friends, that is called a 1/4 inch Whitworth thread. English in origin, but it was a standard thread. You can get ones that are coarser, that are finer, depending on the application, but this isn't a metric thread. It's an imperial thread, 1/4 inch in diameter, and the Whitworth means it's the shape of the thread and how fast it goes down. So 2019, you've got in the 21st century, that was a bit of technology, the development of a screw thread, and that screw thread was developed in the 19th century, and it's still being used now. So it's the one commonality amongst all photographic equipment, is it does it have that 1/4 inch thread in the bottom of the devices, whether it's a movie camera, whether it's a still camera, whether it's a DSLR, whether it's a really $5,000 camera or a $50 camera. It's going to have the same thread down the bottom. So you don't have to ever worry about buying a tripod. Oh, is it going to fit my camera? It will fit. Some of these are interchangeable with different kinds of brackets, but it'll always have that little bit of a screw thread in there. So my camera. When I take my photos, I set the camera up on the tripod, and I got this particular size tripod, so it's just a very short one, because I can screw the camera onto the top of the tripod, and when I've finished, the camera and the tripod both will fit into the backpack, and I just slip it on and ride away. I don't have to unscrew the camera from the tripod each time and put them away separately. It fits in there. I did have a little day pack on the back of the Harley, but it was just too small, and while it fitted the tripod, it didn't fit the tripod and the camera. I had to keep taking it apart. And do it once, that's okay, but have to do it half a dozen times. Put it on, take the photograph, take it off again, pack it up. Then the next lot, just repeat, and it was just pain. So I've used the backpack now for that. So I've got the moving photos with the GoPro, the still photographs with my little point and shoot. As I said, I could use my camera. I could use my phone to take the photos, but I'd have to have a tripod with a bracket to hold the phone just there. Or I could just do the normal type of selfie thing with my phone, hold it there. But I prefer to get a little bit more of the scenery in the photograph to show the sign and the bike and me and the magazine cover. So that's for that. The other part of my videos is me talking to the camera, and my little camera there will record video. Most compact cameras do. You've got the picture taking button on the top, but you've got a film recording button on the bottom. Just press that and it just says REC for recording, and you can record what you like, zoom function and all the rest. But do remember that these are cameras. And years gone by, when you bought a camera, you bought it to take photographs. And so this is a bit of technology, a device that was primarily made to record photographs. But as technology improves, the ability of the devices improve, and so now it has video capability, but it's not as good as a dedicated video camera. It's not meant to be a dedicated video camera. You buy a dedicated camera like that and you spend the thousands of dollars to be able to do that. And as such, you don't have all the functionality of a video camera. And one of the drawbacks of using this is the microphone. And there's a small little dot just there on the front that records the voice, that records the sound. Now these devices have an omnidirectional microphone. In other words, it records sounds from everywhere. So even though I'm looking at the camera and talking to the camera, if something's happening over there, or over there, or over there, it's going to record those sounds as well. If I'm a fair way away, and in some of my videos you can see that I am, I'd have to be yelling to be heard in that. If a car goes past, I'd get lost. Have a look at this, listen to this bit of video clip that I've got of me up at Kaipo Forest, and have a little listen. This is going to be just with the camera set up and me talking, and see if you can hear what I'm saying. To the official park, it's going to take us 30 minutes, I'm not sure. But Kaipo Forest, and I bet you can't hear it very well, because I certainly can't hear it. So to make it a little bit better, I got this little device, and it's just plugged on my shirt. It's called a lavalier mic. It's made by an Australian company called Rode, and they have a worldwide presence, and they are considered one of the best, if not the best, maker of microphones. Next time you see what's with TV and news presenters, you'll see them with this little microphone plugged in just near their collar or just on their lapel, and it makes the sound so much better. And now have a look at this same clip from Kaipo, but this time, instead of the camera recording the sound, this little Rode microphone is going to record the sound. And listen to the difference. Getting from home to the original park was going to take the 30 minutes, I'm not sure. But Kaipo Forest, one of the many national park listings in the South Australian Government website. And what a difference it makes. If you want, rewind and have a listen to the camera one, and then have a listen to the lavalier, and it's magic. Now, it's all very good to have a microphone here, but where does it go to? It's not a long cable that goes to the camera, though this little camera has a little port that I can stick my phone in, but I don't think I've got that. What I'm using is my phone. It has a voice recorder. It's part of the operating system. This is an iPhone, and so it has a part of the operating system, so I can just have it in there, which is very nice. I don't know about Android phones, but I assume they would have a voice recording app as part of the operating system, or one that you can download. And so I have my cable plugged into there, I've pressed record, and the film is recording. One trouble with that, of course. On the camera, with the microphone, you get the video track and the audio track joined together. So as my mouth moves, the audio matches up. It doesn't look like a badly dubbed Asian movie. But because I'm recording on this little microphone, this audio track is a completely separate entity. So when I'm making the video, I have to match this up. I have to marry it up. And so at the start, I've got one of these. And it's just, and you see them when people are making movies, and if you wonder what the heck they're doing, it's the sound of the noise that makes. You can see the peak in the volume graph of an audio track. You move that until you can see in the video as it's closing down, then you know that everything's going to be synchronized really well. You could get away just with 3 claps, but yeah, why not? Well, there's even an app for an iPad with one of these little things on it. This times, and you put names of the shot and the director and all the rest, but I just needed something to make a noise that I could then match it all up. And so there's my 4 things for my videos that I'm using. I've got the GoPro for the movement. I've got my little camera that I take the photographs of me at these various locations that I'm going to submit for the competition. I use the camera in video mode to record myself talking to you. And this little Rode microphone connected to my phone to record the audio. And then once that's all done, then I can bring all that together and produce the video, put it all together, put the first one and then match it all up. It takes a bit of time, but I'm enjoying putting it all together, doing the technology part of it all. I said it takes time, but I will see how I go at trying to show you the various features of how I put all this together, either in the next little how-to video or the continuation of this one. I'm not really sure quite yet, but we'll see how we go with that. But I think that's it. An action camera, a still camera, and my movie camera, and my voice recorder. So I've got these 4 elements that I have to put all together and to synchronize up and get the levels right, and then I can save it as a video and upload it to social media or YouTube, or post it to friends if I had any friends. Thank you for listening. Hope you found it a little bit interesting. Hopefully it'll give you a little bit of incentive. Yeah, let's get, I can do that. I've got the camera, and you don't need anything special. The only thing I really had to buy was this little Leviar, and that was, I got it for another purpose. And this was just from Ted's camera store down at Marion. It was about $79, $80. You can get more expensive ones, but this is the cheapest I could find, and I think it does a bang-up job. Alright, so let's get to the computer and try and suck all this video in and link up this audio into it, and see if I can make a video out of this video while I'm explaining to you how I do it. That's going to be a bit of an effort on my part, but I'll give my best try. Alright, thank you for listening so far, and watch what comes up next and you'll see how it's all put together. Thank you. Bye.